Yes, Oyo. Good evening, Dipsy. Hi. Good evening. Welcome to day 7 of their female gender. And tonight we are looking at functional depression. Oluwadamnola, I see you. Thank you for connecting. What is functional depression? We've looked at a lot of things over the past few days. We looked at rising above your past as a woman, as a female. We've looked at yesterday was, oh my goodness, yesterday was really interesting. We looked at why sometimes special Mother's Day. So Mother's Day, shout out to all the mothers or every woman, because I believe that every woman is a mother. You are born with a womb. You are a womb man, so you can nurture, right? So we've really looked at God, the goodness of God, and why sometimes we don't experience His goodness. We know He's good, but sometimes we look at our lives and it feels as if He's not good. So what's going on? All of the replays are on my YouTube channel, Coach Jola-Grace. Just search for Coach Jola-Grace. All of the replays from day one, they are all on my YouTube channel. One of the days as well, we looked at relationships, right? How do I know? Excuse me. How do I really know a man that fears God? Sometimes you say, "Oh, I met this man, is God fearing." What does that really look like? Right. So we looked at that as well. And we've talked about a lot of things as well. But tonight we want to look at tea fashion makers. Hi. Yes, please invite people to connect with us. Tonight we're looking at something else. I want to look at functional depression. What is functional depression? What does it look like? Right? Because sometimes we feel that depression just looks like staying in bed, not wanting to do anything, not wanting to go out, not wanting to see people, just wanting to be by yourself. Right? Depression can look like that, but depression can also look like dressing up, showing up, going to work, dancing. There was a couple of years ago, I think now, there was someone that, ended their own life. And before they did, they were on social media dancing 2 days before then. And you're like, what happened? Right? This person was still very much functioning, but depression was still going on. And so this is a very important area for us to talk about tonight. You probably have heard me say this so many times, right? That man is a tripartite being. You are a spirit, you live in a body, you have a soul. And your mind consists of your will. Your soul consists of your mind, your will, and your emotions, right? And when we go through different things that we go through in life, it affects us. It affects our soul. And when our soul is affected, our mind is affected, our will is affected, our emotions is affected. And guess what? It will ultimately affect every other area of our lives. Sassy Brown, Lade, Paulines, thank you all so much for connecting. I see you all. Thank you for connecting. Please keep sharing and keep inviting people to join us as we have this very, very interesting conversation tonight. Now, one of the things I also love to say is that when your soul is struggling, when your soul is wounded, when your soul is stressed, right, it can ultimately transfer the pain, right, and the effect of the pain to your body. So there's something called the mind-body connection, where you are feeling something you're feeling something in your body, in your soul, but then you're feeling a physical impact, right? A very good example is when maybe you're going for an interview, or you are going to pitch a proposal somewhere, you're going to make a presentation, and you're anxious, right? You realize that you're anxious is an emotion, is a feeling, but your hands are probably shaking. Your hands start to shake, or your legs start to shake, or sometimes your bladder becomes suddenly full and you feel like you need to go to the bathroom, not because you drank water just before then, but because you are anxious. So there's something called the mind-body connection. Good evening, Pastor Shalom. I see you. Thank you so much for connecting. Haiti, Enoba, Mr. MK. Hi, all. I see you. Thank you so much for connecting. So there is something called the mind-body connection, right? Where what is going on in your emotions is affecting you on the outside. And going further deeper, we've talked about that over the past few days. Things like irritable bowel syndrome, constipation, body ache, tension headaches, all points to the fact that something is happening in your soul that you need to look after, right? But it's also important for us to know that to function, oftentimes, right, functionality requires you to have your mind to be clear, your mind to be open. Your positive hormones, positive toxins flowing inside of your being. However, sometimes we can make those things come artificially. I was sharing with someone this afternoon that a lot of times we know that we have to perform at our optimum. We have to deliver something at our optimum, right? For instance, why do people get addicted to different things? Most of the time, I like to say this: energy drinks. It's good to take it once in a while, right, to boost your energy. But the truth is, some people cannot step out of the door of their house in a day without taking energy drink. You just cannot do that, and that becomes an addiction. It gives you that boost. It pumps your adrenaline. It helps you deliver at your optimum. But you're supposed to get these things naturally, right? And that can be the beginning of functional depression, when you know that I can't actually function without taking some things, some substances. I need this to just help me feel good. It helps me to keep my mind together. You are not designed that way, right? And you think that I can't stop to look after myself. I can't stop to check what's going on the inside. I just have to keep going. Listen, you are not indispensable. 4 John 2 says, I wish above all things that you prosper and be in good health, even as your soul prospers. That is why I keep saying that the prosperity of your soul is a foundation for the prosperity of every other area of your life. So let me read a definition of functional depression, right? It refers to a form of depression where a person appears to function normally in daily life. So they appear. You see them, they're still coming to work, they're still showing up in church, they're still, doing everything that they're supposed to do day in, day out. So it appears that they are functioning normally in daily life. They go to work, they meet their responsibilities, they take care of their family, they maintain social appearances. Yet, internally, they are struggling with persistent sadness, exhaustion, and emotional numbness. They're struggling inside when it's just them and there's nothing to do. That's why you will see sometimes people like this always pile things up in their plates. They always want to be busy because a moment of not doing anything, right, points them to what is going on the inside. The persistent sadness, the emotional numbness, the emotional exhaustion. So as long as they are busy, they don't feel those things. As long as they are busy, there's no time to think about what is going on my inside. And the truth is, all of these things pile up over time. There's something I love to say. Time, I'm sure you've heard it, time heals all wounds. That's actually not true. Because let's take a physical wound, for instance. You have a physical wound. And you don't go to the hospital, you don't go to the clinic to get that wound treated and bandaged and, just stitched, whatever it is they need to do. And you just say to yourself, oh, it's okay, time will heal this wound. Let me just keep it. Let me just make sure that I wear clothes that cover this wound up. You keep putting on clothes, big clothes that cover the wound up, right? The truth is, time is not going to heal that particular wound. What actually time will do to that wound, it will worsen it. Time will make the wound deeper. It can start to decay. All manner of things will start happening to that wound because it was not treated. So intentionality is what helps you to heal from any kind of wound, right? So this functional depression that we're talking about is not something that happens overnight. It happens over time. with an event. So, and I will link this to trauma as well as we go in the conversation tonight. An event happened. It is traumatic. Somebody betrayed you. Somebody let you down. Somebody broke your heart. Somebody stole your money, or something happened, or you had a loss. But you just said to yourself, it's okay, let's just move on. Life is not that deep. I'm a free spirit. It's okay. I'm okay. Nothing happened. And I usually like to compare the matters of our emotions and our soul to the physical things because it helps us to understand it better. Right? If you're going on the road and then somebody suddenly maybe they fall down and maybe a car hits them or something, and you could see they're on the floor and they're bleeding. You could see the wound. And people try to go and help this person. And I say, no, I'm okay. At least I'm an adult. No, I don't mind the blood. It's okay. I'm honestly, I'm fine. Let me just carry on going to where I'm going. And the person is standing up and trying to stand up, and there's blood all over them. Everybody will think that, okay, it's not just only your hand that has issues. We think your brain also has issues because we can obviously see that you are bleeding. You are wounded and you need medical attention. Have you heard that phrase before? If you don't heal from what hurts you, you will bleed on the person that didn't cut you. Because imagine that guy now standing up with his bleeding hand and trying to go around and do stuff. He's going to be bleeding on everybody he comes across. So, functional depression happens over time. When we experience negative things, it's okay to pause, check how we're feeling, why we're feeling it, right? Maybe before I know I've said that for a lot of things, but we will see there's very little that we can do in about 12 days now that we're having. So, but we will see how much we can cover, how you can reframe, replace all of those emotions when they come, what you can do with them so that they don't hurt you. So I say your emotions are valid. Feel your emotions, but don't allow your emotions to control your actions, right? I see you all. Thank you so much for connecting all across the platforms. So people with functional depression, we often hear comments like, oh, you seem fine. You are doing well. You are strong. You see, I was having a meeting a couple of days ago, and I said to them, listen, it's not a compliment for somebody to say, you are such a strong person. Oh, you are so strong. Anytime we call you, you are there. It's not a compliment that you are always available. Again, dear female gender, you are not indispensable. My spiritual mother will say something. If you are not El Shaddai, else you shall die. Because some of us think that we can do everything. We can be everywhere. We can sort everybody's problem out. Not pausing to check what is going on the inside. And even when we realize something is going on the inside, we explain it away. Actually, we shouldn't really feel like that. Just move on. It's not a big deal. Somebody was telling me today how people undermine the impact of trauma in some places like Africa. And they will say, if you're from Africa, it's just trauma. Forget about it, move on. It's just like telling somebody who is wounded and they are bleeding, and you say, it's just a wound, just move on. What's wrong with you? It's invalidating people's experiences. And it makes matters worse. Instead of them healing, they're actually now dealing with the emotion of guilt and shame or inadequacy. Why am I feeling like this? Why can't I do what other people are doing? Why do I always need to take this thing to feel like this? They're not dealing with that on top of what they are dealing with already. Functional depression, you are drained internally. You are disconnected. You can get to a point where you don't even feel again. You're numb. You don't feel, you're just numb. You don't feel emotions. But emotions are part of us. We are created with emotion. We are emotional beings. And sometimes when people slip into that state of functional depression, it's not really because they want to. It's because they feel they don't have an option but to keep functioning, but to keep showing up. But I often ask, who set this standard for us? Who told us that we are not allowed to rest? Who told us that we're not allowed to stop? There was a period in my life, it wasn't even too long, just last year. Just last year, I went through a very rough patch, and for 3 months, I was off everywhere, everything. No, I was not doing nothing. I did nothing for 3 months. Because I knew that if I continued doing what I was doing, right, I'm only on my way to depression that looks that I'm still functioning, but absolutely, I'm still functioning. So who said you can't pause and heal and then come back again? In Formula One, right? In Formula One race, there's something called pit stops. You're not allowed to keep driving, and they drive very fast. You're not allowed to keep driving continuously from the beginning of the race to the end. You have to stop at some point. It's part of it. And when you stop, they change your tires, they check your engine, they do this, then you continue again. But sometimes we feel, especially their female gender, we feel, no, I'm a superwoman. I'm a superwoman. We feel we're larger than life. We feel we can do, we can be, we can just, and we don't need to pause. And we don't need to pause. Again, I say, you are not indispensable. Honestly, life will move on. The people that you think cannot live without you is not true. It's not true. Just think back. I'm sure one or two of us have, lost one or so people in the last couple of years. That you think that the world will stop if this person is no longer here. However, the most important reason why you are here on earth is to fulfill an assignment, a special assignment that has your name on it. Before you were formed in your mother's womb, God knew you, He ordained you, He gave you that JD. That this is what I want you to go and do when you get to the world. Enough of the competition, their female gender. We are having real talks over these past few days. Enough of trying to impress the Joneses. Sometimes we think that doing makes us somebody. Doing, I just finished that conference. I'm going to speak in that place. I just wrote this book. I'm just doing that. So you're functioning. And we think that is what makes us who we are. No, ma. That's not what makes you who you are. Because you can be doing all of that, and on the inside is still not right. It brings to mind that parable that Jesus Christ talked about. He said, what shall it profit a man if he gains the whole world and loses what? Did he say loses his spirit? Loses his soul. Loses his soul. What shall it profit? So that looks like somebody who is a high flyer, getting things done, achieving everywhere, speaking, delivering. You're climbing to the peak of your career, MD, CEO, opening 25 companies, doing everything. What shall it profit a man if he gains the whole world? And I hope you know that man there is not male, is man, human being. The Bible refers to the human being as man, calls human being man. Because you, female gender, you are also a man. You are just a womb man. So what shall it profit a man if he gains the whole world and loses his soul? That's functional depression right there. And a lot of people are on that journey. Just took time to stop and look inwards and check what's going on my inside. So let me quickly talk about a few things, right? Good evening. Hi, good evening. Thank you so much for connecting. Slush, Debbie, Ify, Salwa. Hi. See you all. Thank you so much for connecting. Amazing. So let's look at some signs. How do I actually know, right, whether it's myself or somebody else is experiencing it? Because sometimes we have to help people. Sometimes they don't even know. Like I said, nobody does that because they want to do it. They just don't know how to help themselves. Many people don't know, which is why, myself and a few of other my colleagues, we are committed to keep educating people, There's so many people that have, sent me private messages, come for one-on-one sessions since we started this series. Like, oh, you spoke about something. Actually, I identify with that. They might not know until somebody says it, that, oh, that's why I'm feeling like this. And that's okay. But when you know and you don't do anything about it, you are self-sabotaging. So, but we will keep coming out and telling you what these things are. So let's look at 10 signs of functional depression. Number one, right? Constant exhaustion. You are always tired. You sleep, you wake up in the morning, and you are still tired. And the tiredness is mental and emotional. You just feel, I'm always mentally drained. I'm emotionally drained. And when you are emotionally drained, you see, it affects your relationships. Sometimes there are some people that are in your life or that it seems as if a lot of times they are always grumpy. You think that most of the time you can't really, you see, you're working on eggshells around it. Be careful of that person. If you say this thing now, they might take it the other way around. If you say, so just be careful. So sometimes people will just want to avoid you. Good evening, Pastor Teju. Good evening, Dapi. Alex, good evening. Yama, good evening. Thank you so much for connecting. People will just always want to avoid it because they are not sure. If they greet you, if they say good morning, you might say, what's the good about the morning? They only greeting, they didn't mean any harm. And you don't even know why you react like that. Because you are in the office, you are the MD, you are the CEO. But you just feel, I don't even have the emotional capacity to be talking and gisting with people. Always tired, always drained, right? And see, there's something about depression. I was really explaining this to someone this afternoon that, okay, I'll say this. I know that most of my audience are faith-based people, and I'm a person of faith, in case you have not noticed. So I believe in God. I'm a Jesus girl. I'm just a girl who loves Jesus. And a lot of the things that I share, like I said, they're my personal journey, right? So when we hear depression, some people already are like, why are you talking about depression? That's something from the devil. The children of God never experience depression. It's of the devil. If you are a true Christian, I actually saw somebody post this one day and my heart broke. If you are a true Christian, you will never experience depression, no matter what happens to you. Should we therefore say that if you are a true Christian, you will never have headache? If you are a true Christian, you will never have stomach pain. You will never. If you are a true Christian, you will never have constipation. If you are a true Christian, you will never have, what's the other one? The other one that happens in your stomach when you are going to the toilet. Diarrhea. If you are a true Christian, if you have a cut in your hand, it will not pain you. If you are a true Christian, when you are having a baby, since it's God's female gender, you will not feel pain. Can we also say that? Can we say that? Right? Can we say that? Because man is a tripartite being. You are a spirit, you live in a body, and you have a soul. And when 3 John 2, Apostle Paul says, I wish above all things that you prosper and be in good health, even as your soul prospers. He's talking about the 3 parts of your being. I wish that your soul, your spirit, soul, and body is healthy. So there's something called physical health, there's something called spiritual health, there's something called the health of the soul, emotional health. The health of the 3 parts of you is what makes you whole. So I hope somebody is just getting a level of freedom. That I'm not a sinner because I'm feeling depressed. No. Let me share this with you. I always share my personal life. I don't have any secrets again. You guys, yeah, I'm sure you know all my secrets. Even though I tell you not to tell anybody, I'm sure you don't really keep that promise. So let's have another one. Some years ago, a lot of you probably, you know my story of going through trauma, going through abuse, coming out of that abuse, and trying to navigate life, asking myself, so who am I? Right? Trying to discover my identity. That's where I came up with the model of your who and your what, because I had to find, I thought my what, WHAT, was my who. And I realized that that's not who I am. So at that point, when I came out, it was really bad. My soul was crushed. It was a bad wound. My soul was wounded, was crushed. But I know I had to go through the journey of healing. So I went for help. I sought help. So I had a psychologist working with me. I had a psychiatrist working with me. I had a therapy. I had, people working with me, because I knew that this girl is helpless. If she stays like this, there is absolutely no hope for her. And I say one thing, right? What happened to you is not your fault. It happened to you. You are the victim. And it's not within your control, because it was somebody else that chose to do that thing to you. They chose to betray you. They chose to disappoint you. They chose to let you down. They chose to abuse you. It happened to you. However, healing from that trauma is your responsibility, whether it was childhood or adulthood. I don't want to get ahead of myself. Some people that deal with functional depression, it started from childhood. So healing from what happened to you is your responsibility. So I knew that I had to heal. It was my responsibility to heal. And I sought medical help. I sought professional help. And at a point, they said, look, you are clinically depressed, and we need to give you antidepressants. Oh, okay, no problem. Then my will was to, yes, the health of the three parts of me is what makes me whole. Absolutely, Bumi. My will was too weak to even make a decision. Sometimes when you struggle to make decisions, it's not because you're lazy or you are stupid or you are foolish. No, it's just probably because your soul is wounded. Analysis paralysis, where you can't make a decision. You have to ask this person, do you think I should wear this one? What do you think I should do? Do you think I should eat rice? What do you think I should do? Well, it's just an effect of trauma. There's nothing wrong with you. You're just traumatized. You're going through trauma and you need to heal. So at that point, they say, oh, take antidepressants. I'm like, okay, no problem, whatever you guys are saying, I'll do that. Hi, Rebecca, good to see you. Whatever it is that you guys are saying, I'll go for it. Right? So, after a while, I started taking the antidepressants, and, I had this group of friends, very wonderful friends, God bless their hearts, just really, trying to do their best and everything for me. And at the point we were having a conversation one day, and I mentioned that, oh, by the way, they said I'm depressed and they've given me medication. And my friend's like, no. Depression is from the devil. You're a child of God. You can't be depressed. No. You have to stop that medication. It's not from you. It's not for you. Let's pray. Blah, 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 blah. My will was weak. So my will, I really didn't have a will. I couldn't really make a decision, whatever they say. Whatever they say. How many of you remember coming to America? Whatever you say. What do you like? Whatever you like. Whatever you like. So I said, okay, whatever it is, let's go for it. And I stopped without telling my doctors or seeking any help or anything like that. And I realized that over the next few weeks, oh my goodness, I deteriorated. I couldn't get up in the morning to walk. I was not coherent. I was slipping into psychosis. For real. One day I got up and I had enough. I didn't even I didn't look after myself. I just got up and I was walking on the road. Another friend saw me from the window and she rushed and said, "What's wrong with you? Why are you looking like this? What's going on?" I was just rambling. And this friend took me home, sat with me, looked after me, prayed for me and everything. And then the next day, she took me to a prayer meeting. And at the prayer meeting, when I shared my testimony, oh, thank God for my friend yesterday. I was actually wanted to, just end it all. I was tired of it. Blah, 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 blah. And then after the fellowship, there was an elderly man there who was a psychiatrist. And, I just felt I should go and have a conversation with him. So I just went to talk to him to tell him, oh, this is what has been happening. I was clinically diagnosed and this is what it said. And, but I stopped taking the medication because some of my friends said it's not right for me to be taking antidepressants. I'm a child of God. The man screamed. He said, I have been doing this job for decades in this country, and I am a Christian. In fact, he said, I am a deacon, I'm a Christian, I believe in God, and I've been doing this work. I've been in the line of duty. And he said, I have treated pastors who had psychosis, and they got better. And he explained something to me that, listen, depression, clinical depression is just chemical imbalance in your brain. What the medication does is to help you balance those chemicals so that you can make the right decisions. So you see how there's communication going on in your body, between your body and your brain, right? For instance, when your bladder is full, there will be a message that will be sent to your brain. Bladder is full, and then your legs need to actually walk to the bathroom so that you can empty that bladder. That's why you don't mess yourself up, because the message goes to your brain and then your brain knows that let's go to the toilet. However, have you heard of or seen situations where people have problem with their brain, or when they say somebody's brain dead, right? And that person needs to have a catheter fixed or a leg bag fixed because the message doesn't go to the brain. The brain can't process the message that the bladder is full. So when the bladder is full, the brain doesn't know. So it cannot send any message to the leg to go to the toilet. So the wee will just come out. And so that the person will not keep messing up themselves, they give them a leg bag or they put a catheter inside because there is no communication. So what happens in depression is there is chemical imbalance. So for instance, you wake up in the morning, you know, when everything is fine, I should get up in the morning and I should brush my teeth. But if there's imbalance, you can get up in the morning and go to work without taking your bath or brushing your teeth. And you get one of that, what's wrong with you? But don't mind him, they'll say he has consequence. Or you don't do the things you're supposed to do when you're supposed to do them. I'm supposed to clean my house. When I eat, I should take my plate, I should tidy my house, but the place that you are used to eat is in your house for 2 months. You don't do what the normal things you're supposed to do. It's not your fault. It's because the chemicals in your brain are not balanced. And those medications help to balance them. And guess what? You can always come off them. You can always come off them. I did for years now. I've been off them. I'm fine. I'm good. But if I didn't take them then, you probably would not have a Jola-Grace Emmanuel today. In fact, not probably, you won't have a Jola-Grace Emmanuel today if I did not take them. I say to people, if you can take paracetamol. Good evening, Dr. Shala, good evening, sir. A lot of females, right? If I say, okay, put in the comment section, 3 to 4 things that are always in your handbag. In the comment section, 3 to 4 things that are always, when you're going out, you know how we change handbags, ladies. You know how we change handbags? Like, oh, I want to carry the green one today. And then you take your red one, you empty your things in the red one, you put it in the green one. And then you're checking, okay, do I have my tissue? Do I have my lip gloss? Do I have I don't know what else, maybe my small bottle of perfume? And oftentimes you say, do I have some paracetamol? Yes or yes? is paracetamol? Good evening, validity. How is paracetamol something that will always be in your bag? Because you're always having headache. And when you have a headache, you don't even think twice about it. The first thing you go for is paracetamol. Do you pray when you have a headache? Let's be honest. Say, Lord, I believe you that you remove this. When you have diarrhea, so you see, for that, I'm not a medical doctor, right? So I cannot prescribe that to you. But if you go and see your doctor, so somebody's asking me a question on Instagram, does antidepressant make one sleepy? Right? You see your doctor will prescribe the best one for you. They will check, your they will ask if you're allergic to anything and stuff like that. Right? But you see, what I tell people as well is, if you're an antidepressant, make sure you are going through talking therapy as well, which is what I do. Because a lot of people get stuck on it because they are not winning themselves off it. They are not working their way out of it. Because I did everything. I had everything. The coaching, the therapy, everything. Right? So you must also make sure that you are working. So you tell yourself, okay, because you still need to function. So what is the plan to come off this? So I would really say, I can't really comment on what it does or what it doesn't do because I am not a medical doctor, right? But if you're thinking of it, speak to your doctor. And don't even, you see, all of these things this question that makes you sleepy, right? If, I tell you that you are the CEO of your life. Yeah. You are the CEO of your life. So it's important for you to be able to tell yourself, okay, if I anticipate that this will happen, what can I do so that it will not happen? And sometimes things like simple exercises, going for a walk, 30 minutes a day, it helps. But you see, if you're struggling with functional depression or any kind of depression, you know you're supposed to go for a walk, but you will not go for that walk because your will is tired. But you see, if the medication is working, your will is there, is strong. So that will still help you to go for that walk. So you see how it balances each other out, right? Absolutely, yeah. Send me a DM. And what we said since for International Women's Month or Women's Month of March is that everybody that signs up with myself this month, ladies, guys, your turn will come. But because I also coach guys, you get a 50% discount off if you sign up this month of March. Okay? If you sign up during this period, you get it. So yeah, talking therapy by all means, right? Gift yourself. Somebody reached out to me last week and I say, Coach, this is a thing I'm doing for myself. It's for yourself. It's not for anybody. I was having a conversation with somebody yesterday and I said, no, see, these sessions you are having is for you. It's not because of anybody. It's not because it's for you. It's me saying, I just need to become a better version of myself. And remember that healing is not the end. It's one of the favorite things I love to say. Healing is a means to an end. Gospel Revival, good evening. I see you. Thank you for connecting. Healing is a means to an end. It's not the end. The end is so that you can fulfill your purpose. But if you try to fulfill that purpose, right, without healing, it will be functional depression because you are functioning and it will not be authentic. Authenticity can be smelt. If you're not authentic in what you're doing, people can sense it. People can sense it. People know when you're just, let's just tick the boxes. Right? So I think I finished sharing my story, right? I said that to encourage somebody. So first of all, absorb yourself of that of those negative emotions. I'm not a Christian. I don't have time to take you through people in the Bible that experience negative emotions. Yeah. Elijah. Elijah is one of my favorites because for me, I'm like, Elijah, man of God. Elijah is a man of God. He finished a great, if you're talking about a great feast, I don't even know what to call it. It's not a crusade, it's not, he killed all of the prophets of Baal. He called down fire. Called down fire on the sacrifice. They pour water, pour water, pour water. Let me show you who my God is. He was an anointed man of God. He wasn't just, just. And then a few weeks later, he got a threat from a lady. Hi, Damilare. He got a threat from a lady, and the lady said, I will deal with you. And what happened to Elijah? Elijah became depressed. That's what happened to him. In fact, he had suicide ideation because he was like, God, I'm tired. What is this? Haven't I seen enough? I'm tired, though. Kukuma kill me. That is what he said. That is what he said to God. He said, I'm tired. Take my life. Because he had been functioning, high functional individual. He had been performing. He had been doing things. And it got to a point, he became very depressed. Even to the extent of saying, God, take my life. I don't want to do it again. I'm tired. I've had enough. I don't know what's going on. I've had enough. But what did God say to the angel? Okay, the angel of God, but still God. He came to him and said, Elijah, eat and rest, for the journey is long. Meaning that the assignment, the work, you see, that's why I say healing is not the end, it's a means to an end. He said the journey is long. Arise and eat. Eat and then rest. Sometimes you're feeling the way you are feeling because you've been working. Imagine, in fact, in the UK is illegal if your car doesn't have MOT. Yeah, the journey is far. Yeah, I'm like, yeah. If your car does not have MOT, it's illegal. Very illegal. Yeah. So why do I have to go and service my car? Why do I have to check the engine oil? Why do I have to check if there's water? I used to say that I love the way we were brought up, and every morning back then, I think sometimes when you're the first girl, you're like the firstborn, especially if your older brother was in boarding house and all of that. So I was like always the one at home. And I love doing it. I just love to be around cars and everything. And every morning, I would check the engine oil and the water of my dad's car before it goes out. If his tire is flat, I will change it. I can change tire. Thank you very much. Oh, yes. Oh, yes. I can change that. Up until today, one of the things I enjoy doing is washing my car. My children, they were like, Mom, why are you stressing yourself? It's exercise. But I love to take care of my car. My car has to be, I will clean it, clean the inside, I will wash it. Of course, when it's very cold, I'll take it to the car wash. But when it's summer, it's something I love doing. I enjoy it. And I can change that. Oh yes, I can change tire of a car. Yeah, yeah, yeah. As long as there's so I'm okay. So I've not changed a tire in my goodness, maybe 25 years or so, but I can if I have to. Because I used to do it when I was young. I'll just get to it, don't get this car, change the water, make sure the water, I'll bring out the engine oil, you know that thing in the car, the engine oil. You will know you will clean it, you have to clean it and then put it back and then bring it out to see where, okay, does it need more engine oil? Yeah, 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 yeah. So I said all of that to say that we do all of that so that we know when it's time that if this car needs water, right? This car needs, you check the radiator, or we need to put water inside, or we check, you need to put engine oil inside. If we don't check and we just keep driving it, imagine you just keep driving your car for months and months and months and months and months without checking the oil or checking the water. What is going to happen to that car? One day you will start, the car will say, "Asco." Start now, the car will say, "Domido." Why is my inner child coming out this evening? I can't believe it. And I'm posh. Which one is Asco? What's the meaning of that song, Sam? Asco, Domito, Tomatery, Mary. Oh my God, Shola, why are you doing this? You're supposed to be really posh. Your car will tell you, talk to the hand. I ain't going nowhere today. Why? Because you've not stopped to check whether the car needs anything. And sometimes that's what happens with us as human beings. Just keep driving yourself and driving yourself and driving yourself. Somebody's laughing at me. And yes, so because listen, I say to people that your soul is the engine of your life. You have to check it. You have to keep checking it. I do have a session that is a check, like an onboarding session. It's not as if anything is wrong. We just want to come in and check it. We just check. Let's check. Just talk. I give you an assessment. Okay, what's going on with you? Oh, okay, this is okay. This is okay. Checking. Checking session. Just the way you check your car, you need to check your soul. Checking. What's going on? So that you can know when it needs more water or when it needs more fuel. Let me, because some people are saying, wow, I'm a person of faith and I love to point things out. 1 Kings 19. Hi. 1 Kings 19, 3-5. Then he was afraid. So, first of all, we're talking about emotions. Your emotions are valid. Here was a mighty man of God. You don't just say man of God. People like that, you have to say it with deep voice, baritone. Elijah, the mighty man of God. I mean, look at what he's done. But he says he was afraid. If your pastor tells you, guys, I'm afraid, I got a threat from Mrs. Jezebel, would you not leave that church? Like, what's good? He said he was afraid because he got a message from Mrs. Jezebel. And then what did he do when he was afraid? He rose and ran for his life. Hey, Kai. Can you believe that? Honestly, can you believe that? Imagine I don't even want to mention anybody's name. Prophet Elijah got a threat message. Number one, he was afraid. And what did he do? He ran for his life. Why are you running? He ran. And then he came to Beersheba. Verse 4 says, but he went in himself a day. He went a day's journey into the wilderness and came and sat down under a broom tree. Right? And then, here we go. He said, And he asked that he might die. This is Elijah. He sat down and asked them, and I say, it is enough. Is it not enough? It is enough. Oh Lord, take my life, for I am no better than my fathers. What is that? That is depression, brothers and sisters. Because depression always have that lining of being tired of life. And it's on different levels. In some cases, that is very acute. The people attempt to actually do it. In some cases, they don't attempt, but they think about it. They think that, let me just sleep and not wake up. Right? But Elijah was like, he will say, go, just enough already. What's this? And he laid down and slept. So just first, you are going to read 1 Kings 19. Is there? He was depressed. Even though he was functioning, we can almost deduce that he was already tired even before he did what he did. That's why checking is important. It's important. And if you feel you need a check-in, you need to start sending me a DM now. Send DM and say, please, there's actually a link in my bio that you can use to book that one-off session, right? So rather than sending a DM, just book the session right away. On my Instagram bio, if you're watching me on YouTube, Facebook, or TikTok, in my Instagram bio, Jola-Grace at Jola-Grace, there's a link there that's for a one-off session. You can use to book a one-off session because this is something that you give to yourself, right? So depression can reduce the brain's ability to experience pleasure. Have you met people who you feel they don't have emotions? Or maybe you've been in a relationship with somebody who appears not to be emotionally available. And you're like, they're just emotionally not available. They're just there, very, very static. They are just, stoic, nothing. It can be functional depression. So they achieve a lot, but inside they are not satisfied. They don't have a sense of fulfillment or joy. Everything they do is they put it up. Laugh now. But truly on the inside, they are not happy. Number 3, persistent low mood. Oh, that's the time already. Persistent low mood. Their mood is always low. They'll tell you, no, I'm not in the mood for that. They're never in the mood for pleasure. They're never in the mood for, in fact, when they see you laughing and having fun, they're like, what's wrong? What's wrong with this one? Why is she laughing? Why is he laughing? Why is he happy? They wonder why other people are happy. And they are high functional people, though. They are high flying individuals. They are achieving, they are delivering. They are so busy. These are the kind of people, they hardly sleep. Because they are so busy. They are working 4 jobs, 5 jobs there because they want to make sure that they fill all of their time with something so that they don't have time to think of what is truly going on their inside. The calamity there is sometimes the brain can get damaged. Sometimes the body. Sometimes the body can just stop because you piled too much on it. It's okay to pit stop. I want to help me tell your neighbor, okay, you can put in the comment section. It is okay to pit. Hey, sis, Beams, Coach Beams, hi, good evening. It is okay to pit stop. I fear for sister because she's everything. The presbyter, don't forgive her more. It's okay to pit stop. It's okay to say, I am more important. What will people think? What will people say? Excuse me, which people? Which people? And okay, maybe I should also talk to people. People, can you stop, okay, shaming people for feeling emotional, whatever they are feeling, for being down emotionally, for being emotionally hurt, for being wounded, for needing time to heal. We need to stop shaming people, especially spiritual shaming. I've said it. Yeah. We blame people for feeling bad. Have you ever been to an hospital and somebody comes in with a wound and the doctor is saying, what happened to you? Why do you have a wound? As big as you are, you had a wound. No, well, I'm coming. They're just teaching you with disdain. Nobody blames you. It's life. Life happens. It's okay to prioritize your well-being. All that. See, let's go back there. He lay down and slept, and then still in 1 Kings 19, verse 6. No, there's still verse 5. And he lay down and slept under the broom tree. And behold, an angel touched him and said to him, Arise and eat. Arise and eat. Arise and eat. What you need is food. And rest, for the journey is far. And sometimes the food for you is unburdening. Opening up to someone in a safe space. I love what I do. I love it. I love it. I love it. Opening up to someone in a safe space. Because I've seen people come in emotionally down, broken, go through the process, come out, and they are flying authentically. Because there's something called authentic productivity, pardon me. Some other ones can be make-believe, make-believe. You know how sometimes you want to appear you have this flat stomach, right? And Pastor Demola, good evening, sis. You know how you sometimes want people to believe that you have a flat stomach. In fact, these days, you don't need to, if you're taking a picture, you don't need to wear, those things that we wear. You can't breathe. What do they call that thing? The ones that you will sit like this and you can't even move. Corsets. I celebrate my life because me, I dress for comfort. My dear, I need to be comfortable. No. It was one of my girls. I was going to make a clothes. I said, Mom, should I put corset? I said, call what? What's that? Call Kimi? As how? Please, I want to breathe. I want to breathe. No. I dress for comfort. Thank you very much. I want to be comfortable. Yeah, thank you for the corsets. I'll pass. You can put that up and then it appears as if your tummy is flat, but you know that your tummy is big. And I'm not body shaming anybody. We're all on that journey, especially when you get to a certain age, right? The hormones can be the reason. Okay, somebody said Gadu, control wear, tummy waist trainer, everything. Some of them are very uncomfortable. That's what I'm talking about. Very that you can't. I've seen some pictures online that people at parties and they're like this. In fact, there was one bride that I saw that she could not enter the car. They had to turn her flat and then push her into the car and then and I'm like, what happened? Go, what happened? I don't understand. Make it make some sense. What's going on? But you see, you can wear all of that, and people say, "Wow, nice shape." Or you can, these days now you can look anyhow you want to look. You can tell AI to make you look, figure whatever, and you can do that. People can look at you and like, "Wow, look at her shape, look at her body, what a flat stomach." But you know that it is not authentic. So you can be producing, you can be productive, but you know that you are not whole, that productivity is just covering up something deep on the inside. Another way to know that I'm dealing with functional depression is overcompensate. Okay, I've talked about this one, overcompensating through business. You just keep piling things up on your plate, on your plate, on your plate. And I said this, that sometimes this functionality, or performing starts from childhood. There are some people who went through, so childhood trauma doesn't just look like somebody hitting you or sexual abuse in childhood. It can also be neglect. Neglect is also a form of childhood abuse or childhood trauma. When your primary caregivers are not there for you, they don't give you attention. So I usually talk about soul needs, right? That there are 5 basic soul needs. Every human being has those needs. I don't care whether you accept or not, but they are needs that we all have, especially children within the ages of 0 and 7. Number 1, love. Everybody needs love. I'm not even going to go into that. Number 2, care. Everybody wants to be cared for. Check it. No matter how strong or macho you think you are, everybody wants to be cared for. I remember last Christmas, I gave somebody a gift. The person didn't need my gift. Usually Christmas you would wrap presents for the whole family. So I just thought, okay, I would wrap something for him as well. And the children were opening their gifts, everybody was opening the gifts, and he didn't even know that there was a gift with his name on it. And children say, "Oh, Dad, there's a gift on your there's a gift with your name." And he was like, "Oh, okay." And then he opened it and he hugged me. I was like, people don't give me gifts. They think I don't need anything. Not that what I gave him is a need for him. Like, probably can even afford it a million times more. But it's the fact that somebody thought about me, cared enough to wrap something for me. Everybody needs to care. Attention. Everybody needs attention. That's why you make hair. And then if your husband is not seeing your hair, you know how you do like this in front of him. I was like, babe, what's wrong with your neck? Nothing. Because you want him to say, your hair is nice, but it thought the hair was the one you had yesterday. You didn't realize you had changed the hair. So don't be angry, please. Just tell him, babe, I just made this new hair. What do you think? And I'm sure it will tell you that the hair is nice. If the hair is nice. But even if it's not nice, you know how later you want to hear. Everybody's attention. Everybody needs affection. Affection. People want a hug. We are created to be, hugged, touched. I wrote about the power and impact of hug the other day, right? The research has shown that everybody needs at least 8 or 4 hugs a day for balance. 4 hugs a day for balance. And then appreciation. We all need, okay, this is the way I normally drive this in. A lot of us that drive, right? You're on the road, and there's another road user, right, that is trafficating and saying they want to come out in front of you or something, and you stop for them, right, to come out. Normally, instinctively, what are you expecting that person to do? Right? You're expecting your wiper at the back to go like that. Or you're expecting a thumbs up from the mirror. Or you're just expecting a gesture that says, thank you. Now, I don't know if you've ever experienced, but I've experienced this before, that some road users just drives in front of you and they zoom up. And imagine at that point in time, how do you feel? How does that make you feel? Sometimes you get upset, yes. You're like, you can't even say thank you. And my question usually is, why are you upset? Is the road you're on? Does it belong to you? Is it your mommy's own? Why are you upset? And a lot of times you will even be shouting inside your car. I just tell you that you are inside your car, you are shouting. That other driver in that other car cannot hear you. Why are you stressing yourself? They can't hear you in the other car. But a need was not met. The need of appreciation was not met. Right? So, talking about those needs. Now, when a child is growing up between the age of 0 and 7, they're the formative ages of a child. And those soul needs are important. Now, for some people, right, they did not get that affection, they did not get that attention, they did not get the care when they were growing up, they did not experience that love. They only got attention when they performed. So they realized that when they come back from school at the end of the term and they had I'm not sure they still do that again, but they carry fests. Let me say the way we say it, where I come from. Yeah. So what did you carry? I carry fests. Okay. When they carry fests, okay, so apologies to those who are, Asian and Americans and stuff like that, let me just come back to how we say. So you had very good grades in school. You had all straight A's. It is only when you actually have straight A's or you had really good grades that your primary caregivers would pay attention and say, wow, look at your reports. Come. That's my boy. Wow, come. That's my girl. Wow. That's the only time you get attention. So you try again next time. You didn't quite get good grades. Nobody looked at you. And another time, you did well. They sent a message from school. Oh, your daughter was the best in this test we did. And then attention again. So your brain now begins to figure out, okay, if I want to get attention, I need to perform. If I want to get attention, I need to perform. Now you become addicted to performance for attention. So you keep striving to really get good grades. You are always reading. You want to go to the best school. Daddy, what course do you want me to do? I want to be a doctor. Yes, I'll be a doctor. So you perform, you become a doctor. And then that takes you into your adulthood. And you become addicted to performance. Because you think that except I perform, I will not get attention. I will not get love. I will not get anything. But that is trauma speaking right there. So let me talk about one more and then we'll probably complete this tomorrow, right? Self-criticism and harsh inner dialogue. So you hold yourself to extremely high standards. Oftentimes I say these standards, who sets them? You hold yourself to extremely high standards. I have to read 2 books in a week. I have to complete 2 books in a week. And then the week that you only read 1 book, you are very harsh on yourself. I can't even finish reading 2 books, just already 2 books. What's wrong with you? You beat yourself up. You always beat yourself up. Why did you make that mistake? Right? I mean, there's a stain on your shirt. How come? Your shirt is supposed to be crystal and clean. In fact, it's not properly ironed. Why? Why would you go out with, oh my goodness, you should have woken up earlier and make sure you iron your clothes. You are your own inner critic. And you know what criticism does to people? It steals your esteem. It steals your esteem. It makes you feel you are not good enough. That's how you know that you are still functioning, but on the inside doesn't look good. And I'll end with this. Like I said, a few more that I want to talk about, but because of time, we'll carry on tomorrow. Functional depression is not merely feeling sad. There are times that you feel sad because something happens, right? But it's persistent. The key word there is, am I feeling like this constantly, persistently, over time? Over time. Is this where I always come back to? Over time. Feeling like this, feeling low, feeling down on my inside, feeling numb, feeling emotionally drained. But I'm still functioning. I'm still earning. But still, on my inside, I am not happy. It's okay to be stop. It's okay to pause and check what's going on the inside. Because you cannot give what you don't have. Many people's relationship are being affected because they're in a relationship with somebody who, in quotes, is not emotionally available. But all that's happening is that person is just functionally depressed. There are issues in their life that they've not dealt with over time, but they keep carrying on and carrying on and carrying on. And what usually happens is you bleed on other people who have no idea about what's going on in your life. So what's it going to be? It's time to pause. It's time to tell yourself, I'm going to look after myself, because you are not indispensable. I keep saying that. And you are responsible for you. What happened to you might have been somebody else's fault, but what happens to you in your past might have been somebody else's fault. But now, the onus is on you to heal. And I say this to people, if you can go and see a medical doctor for something that is wrong in your physical body, you should be comfortable to speak to a coach or a therapist to help you figure out what's going on in your soul. At the end of the day, 3 John 2, I wish above all things that you prosper and be in good health, even as your soul prospers. I am the soul doctor. My name is Jola-Grace. And like I love to say, I am committed to helping you heal, thrive, and grow. If you're part of the female gender and you believe that you need one-on-one coaching and therapy, you have a 50% discount throughout this month of March as we celebrate International Women's Month. So please send me a message. There's a WhatsApp link in my bio. You can use that to chat with me on Instagram, or send an email to hello@coachjolagrace.com. I'm looking forward to holding you to heal, discover your value, regain your identity, and become the best version of yourself. You carry value. You are gold. There's gold inside of you, and your world is waiting for you to manifest that awesome thing that God has put inside of you. Thank you so much for connecting with me again tonight. It's really fun having this conversation with you, and I'll see you tomorrow. Have a good evening, and God bless you. Bye for now. Good night, good night, good night, good night, good night.